Shalom. Good morning. Gave you guys 5-minute warning for a live at 5 live stream. Just wait a minute. Let's see if I can. No, I can't do that. Turn it a little bit. Here we go. Give everybody. Yep. Be that way. That's the way it wants to go. A little peek out into the woods this morning. Get you that nice sound of the breeze. There were birds chirping a minute ago. They probably heard me talking and said, nope, I'm out. It's starting to get cold too. I guess I'll put my top on. My over top. I have a top on. Turn back around. And woo! There is Teresa Jukowitz and Mrs. Lovely Dudley and Aid. Well, shalom and good morning to you all. Thank you for joining me on the live stream. I wanted to give everybody a shout out, like Mrs. Lovely Dudley and Teresa and Aid, and Wes S. and Rob Painless, and Linda Hipple, and Grace Akers, and Chasing Life, and Lone Star Living Channel, and Sergeant James. We haven't seen him on live streams that much. Mississippi Hebrew from the West Coast, shalom. I want to hear about, did any of you, hey Colleen, great morning, no rain. They're here, it's raining. I'd love for it to be raining right here, and it rained a little bit, which is okay. A little is better than nothing. We're supposed to be getting more rain. That we'll just have to see if it happened. I wanted to know if any of you had gotten that email or a text or anything about the Matthew McConaughey Art of Living live stream that happened yesterday. And if you did you think about going to it? I also wanted to show you what I was doing this morning. I'm down in my huckleberry patch. After discovering that last year, I had to read up. Okay, Teresa says no. And maybe Colleen says no. Maybe it was sent to YouTube creator. I don't know. There were 500,000 people in the chat. I don't know what the total amount. Mrs. Lovely Dudley says no too. I don't know what the total amount of people who ended up. I think he said 2.4 million. People worldwide stopped into that live stream. And I went for a few minutes just because I was curious. Because what they were going to talk about was making your life better. Do you feel directionless? Do you feel the last couple of years have kind of undercut the current of your life and made you feel like you're drifting and things like that? And I thought that's a pretty good point of view, because I'm sure there were a lot of yeses to that. And now I'm pretty sure it's a video. If you didn't watch the live stream, it's a video on YouTube. It's 6.5 hours long, but they made sure to tell everybody, like, we're in this for a long haul, and he had special guest speakers and so on. And I just did a video. Yeah, I did a video on it, my opinion, because it was historic. And I think in general, Matthew McConaughey seems like a person with a good heart who's trying to help people. And I'm not saying he's, he should become your guru. I just think he personally is in that part of his life where he's getting kind of retrospective, and he's looking at his fame and fortune and wondering how he can help people. And so this was the way he did it. 6.5 hours, people have a lot of free time. Greek said, not only that, because he had a promoter, and this promoter worked with Tony Robbins, who's one of those inspirational. If you have God in your life, you never get bored or have no direction. Well, that's exactly the point of my video, Colleen. the people who promoted it obviously wanted to make money. And so there was an offer to, if you wanted to be like on a Zoom call with him, you could pay more and do that. And then there was another hour afterwards where there was a question and answer period with, just Matthew and his guest speakers and the Zoom people. Break time, what better way to spend it than with Sister Kay? Lamp Keeper, thank you for you and Teresa for supporting the channel. Lamp Keeper just did a post on my book on the grams, and I just replied to it, Miss Lamp Keeper. Thank you for putting it out there for me. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting that a private person, hey, good morning. You're having a rainy morning. You're getting the rain we didn't get. I would love to have some rain here, Mad Kel, because I got things planted and they could stand the watering. Also, I just wanted to say good morning to everybody. Mad Kel and Aid and who else did I not mention? Said Prairie Homemaker, she's a new follower. Lamp Keeper, Naomi May, Bama Buckeye, Jacqueline Hembry, good morning. Kimberly Allen, that's Gardner 67. There's Vicki Fulkerson, just a wonderful human, and I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time with her over the next 6 days. I got some huckleberry seeds, and Mrs. Hippie Hebrew, isn't that fascinating? What I'm doing down here is trimming up the huckleberries that grew here wild. Maybe somebody planted them and we didn't see them. We didn't notice them on this property for the first 10 years we lived here. So this, along with the maple, is something that the Lord showed us this year with our, get your eyes and ears open. Every year while we were here, he has shown us an edible food or a food planted here. And the huckleberries are this year. And I didn't know anything about them. And so I had to do a whole research. And then it said, don't prune them. You don't really need to prune them except if they have dead limbs. Well, these poor things haven't been tended in probably, I don't know how old they are, but in many, many years. And so many of these plants had half the plant was dead. And I thought that was kind of survivalistic of them, that the root could tell one shoot was dead and so shot out another one and still got leaves up. Something else that happened in here is other trees grew in the huckleberry patch, and so we're stealing a lot of the sunlight. Not that they need a lot, they don't, but they need some. And so, JC Fixer, okay, John Cox, okay. They need some sunlight. They like an acidic soil. They like to be in the shade, but there's so many leaves, and it's been probably 100 years since anybody did anything with the leaves here. It's so acidic. So I brought down some rabbit manure, trimmed a lot of dead branches, cut down some of the trees that are in the middle, and then sprinkled some of the rabbit manure. But I have to get a lot more, and I really should come down and just rake some of the leaves out of the way. So they're supposedly very hardy, Hippie Hebrew lady, and I really hope you get them planted and they take off for you. Got my pomegranates to finally grow. Wow, that's exciting. Are they indoor or outdoor? That would be so cool to get a pomegranate. I love when he shows us new treasures on our property every year. Amen. Put in goji berries. That's great. There's Lost Light. Shalom, Sister Kate. JF, I'm late as usual. It's okay to be late. This is just a very casual one. I just wanted to check in with everybody. Just wanted to say hey to people and find out how they're doing. And if they'd seen that thing, and the other thing, well, I won't get into that. It's in my video. There were very interesting spiritual and social things going on in that live stream. And I'm wondering, I know Matthew McConaughey doesn't have any political, he could have been running for governor of Texas and he turned it down. But if somehow he's going to be an even bigger personality for having reached out to people. They're injured currently, hopefully by fall to be out. Ooh, that'd be so cool. Hello, Rock Lick Ranch. Good morning. Zone 7A here, says Colleen. Yeah. I think we might be Z7B. Mullein is always good. Mullein is great for bandages and diapers. And, well, it's in my book. You know that. I don't have to go through it with you. 6A there. So you're going to be a little bit colder. How many of you all are having your cup of coffee this morning? I'm having my water just because I did some sweating. Blessing your way, Sister Kate. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I am getting blessed. And I'm really satisfied too. But I wanted to check with you guys. How are you doing? Saying you were the pastor completes our days. Oh, get out of here. I planted garlic yesterday. I'm wondering if it was either too early or too late for spring garlic. We're in zone 4B. All right, Aid's on the coffee. Did you have a tea too? I've been having Earl Grey with some cream and some honey in it the last week. So good. Yeah, it might be too late for the spring, but that garlic that you plant now will most likely be ripe by the fall. You'll be able to take it out of the ground in the fall. Yep, coffee. Yeah, I wish I'd brought a hot drink with me, but I bolted out the door. Tea is my favorite. Mine too. I like coffee, but coffee doesn't like me, and so I only occasionally have a coffee, and it's usually one that's pre-made and has a bunch of sugar and stuff in it. It's not very good for me. Aw, John, thank you. That's really nice of you. Appreciate it. What was I trying to say? Oh, tea. Yeah, so I've been dehydrating things growing here on the property as a tea. John's all for the coffee. I don't know what it was mentioned in the live stream or not, but more and more Muslims see Jesus and they convert. More and more Northern Europeans go back to their pagan roots. We are spiritual beings. We sure are. And I think the reason the Muslims go for Yeshua instead of Muhammad is it's way more straightforward. And you have much more defined boundaries with that. And there's no jihad in the Bible. There's no female genital mutilation in the Bible. There's a lot of unpleasant things in the Islamic culture that I could see someone going for Christianity. And a lot of their countries are in third world state because the religion doesn't allow for the growth that the Christian church allows for. And that's not me saying Christianity is the pinnacle. It's not. I think in between, where you have both parts of the Bible, is where the pinnacle is. Finally caught you live. Shalom, everyone. Hey, Tinfoil Hat. Did you watch the Art of Living live stream, and what did you think of it? Full pot of coffee every morning. Brother, you need to find some substitutes for that have caffeine that aren't quite as drive your blood pressure up. The pastor has me going from a radio license for being comps prepared. Oh, good. That's a good skill for you to have. Water now, the drink of warriors. That's right. You and me. There it is. So do you all feel like you've done pretty well in your lives? Do you feel like you've got a big empty hole you need to fill, or that you're lacking in some way? Because it sure seems like there were a lot of hurting people on that live stream, but I don't feel that way. I'm going to wait a minute and let my phone catch up to whatever you guys are doing, because I've asked you 2 questions and I'm expecting answers. Oh, and I was talking about tea. So some of the tea I make for myself is clover tea. I just go out in my yard when the white flowers of clovers are on, cut them off, dehydrate them. It makes a slightly sweet, pleasant tasting, not real strong tea. And I also, when I buy oranges or tangerines, I take the peels and I dehydrate them. And clover orange peel tea is a really nice tea too. It's not caffeinated, but sometimes I just like having a hot drink. After coffee, 3 liters of water, no soda or junk. Good. That's a good thing for you to do. And I wanted to tell you, you were looking healthier the last time I saw you than like 2 years ago. So whatever you did is visible, the change. I'm a work in progress. There's no room for depression when you're filled to the brim with the Ruach. Well, that's true. Yep, and depression is very self-serving. It's kind of like a spiral. Helping other people helps pull you out of it. Planted a garden over the past 2 weeks, looking forward to the harvest. That's right. I have things planted, I have things growing. I did those lentil sprouts to give to my chickens, and I thought, sprouted lentils probably should grow a plant. So some of them I planted in one of my beds, and they came up, and I found out, oh yeah, you can grow lentils, sure. So I'm kind of excited to see how they do. I planted 3 tomato plants yesterday, and I have some starts, but I'm not great at doing starts. I'm decided to be lazy about starts. So something I haven't done yet, just because our weather's been pretty wonky, is put warm weather seeds in the ground, but I will be, and it's, his first question was like, doesn't everybody feel a little bit groundless these days? Hasn't it been just a very weird past couple of years, and where do we go from here? And then his first question was about admitting like your fault or your weakness. And there were a lot of people who mentioned fear and depression and an inability to make decisions and things like that. And I asked questions about, do you have anything in your life right now that you think is not being fulfilled? Or do you feel directionless or things like that? And people here have already answered the question. Like, all you need is the Father in your life. I need to focus on the obedience of the commandments. That is always a good thing. That gives you a right and left limit. I've been often on getting super down because I never seem to be able to get caught up on the mess, the projects, life in general. It wears you down when you're nonstop trying to catch up. It's true. And so I kind of look at that like the Dave Ramsey money model. If you're constantly making improvements on a bunch of projects, take time to do a smaller project that won't take as long and get it finished, just so you have that sense of accomplishment. And my husband said something to me. He said, it's a never ending chasing to get things done. So don't stress, because you're not going to be able to get it all done right now. And the pressure should be off of you so that you can choose the project you want to work on and for how long you want to work on it. And I found that kind of useful. Like yesterday, I wanted to move some goat fence, and I had set aside 4 hours to listen to that live stream. And after about 10 minutes, when I figured out, okay, these people really just need the Lord, but eventually, hopefully they find him. I went up and I moved that goat fence, and it took us almost 7 hours to move it. So that was the only real thing that got done yesterday. I have dirty dishes that need washing, but I'm not going to feel bad about that because I got a thing done. So I hope that helps. I just finished sitting with an aunt in hospice yesterday, so I'm reflecting on life today. Yeah, that's really tough. You want to get a softball, thrown at you and try to catch it. That one right there is one of the toughest ones. And when it's happened to me in the past, I have not been ready for it. And I just kind of cave and I become a bubble or whatever, just a blob. But now I'm trying to be more prepared for it and just be in it. Just allow yourself to put other things on hold and just be in it and understand it's gonna hurt. And we ate chocolate. We ate chocolate. Thank you. Got rid of junk food, exercising every day. Good job. Yeah, it's showing. You used to be really, really pale, like the color of this lid all the time, which kind of had me concerned. And now you get some color in your cheeks, and that's a good thing. Blood flow increased. Gotta run, the boss just showed up. All right, bless you. I find that empathizing with others is easier than dealing with personal turmoil and growth. The other person is the one putting in the actual work. I think you can learn things from empathizing with others, though, and if you're smart, you'll keep notes on that and pull that out of your repertoire later on. I didn't do sprouts this year. I always wait too long and lose it all. Just started with seeds in the ground. That's me too, Vicki. Most of the time I just do that, or I buy some starts. To be fair, it is emotionally and psychologically easier to lean on the Father when you still have a worldly support system family, right? That is really the ultimate answer. But not everybody's ready or understands it. I forget. I try to do it on my own, and when I get exhausted, then I am remind. Oh yeah, well, if I just asked the Father, I could have saved myself all that trouble. But hard-headed, stiff-necked. Hey, there's NWA Prepper. Hello. If you are not on Instagram, or if you're on YouTube, if you go to NWA Prepper's channel, and thank you for supporting this channel, brother, he has an inspirational message pretty much every day. And it's nice to go there and have him tell you, you matter, you're important, you can do this. It's a good thing. It's very encouraging. You radiate meaningful wisdom. Not kidding. I'm trying. That's my whole purpose, is to pass that on. So thank you. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, then hopefully it'll help you. Shalom, Sister Kate. Long time no see. Oki's boss. How you doing this morning, sister? And there's Patty Sanchez. Shalom. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thanks for the shout out, he said. Well, no problem. It's the truth. It's the absolute truth. And he can grow a heck of a pepper plant, that guy, too. NWA channel, NWA Prepper. NWA Prepper, I believe, is his channel. You can put a link in there if you want to, brother. And I think he's the same guy on Instagram. I think he's even on TikTok, possibly. It's difficult to empathize if you haven't been through whatever the other person is going through. Otherwise, it comes off as sympathy and pity, and that's beneficial to no one. Oh, I don't agree with that, Miss Lynn. I think being sympathetic to some people is very beneficial. They don't want to know they're alone in going through something. Same name on all of it. That's what I thought. Now, if it's false pity, if it's, well, bless your little heart, and you don't mean it, yeah, I think that's a waste of time, and also actions to go with it. Some people, it can be something as simple as just washing somebody's dishes. If you have a funeral, if people are coming to your house, if they're bringing food and everything, just staying behind and help clean up can be an act of love that doesn't require anyone's attention on you and can really help the people going through it. Let's see, tinfoil hat. To feel and display empathy, it's not necessary to share the same experiences or circumstances. Rather, empathy is an attempt to better understand the other person by getting to know their perspective, right? And people like to have someone interested in them. What is more fulfilling than someone saying, hey, I'd like to be a friend. Hey, why don't you tell me something about yourself? Because we're social creatures, I think that speaks on a gut level, which is why I try to do it with y'all. Hey, how are you? Tell me something about yourself. I tell you things about myself. I'm sharing, so hopefully you will share. And some of you have been. You shared the coffee tea preference. Do you guys make your own tea? What's your favorite tea? What's your favorite coffee? Greek Hum said, yes, SK, exactly. Help with works. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. Sometimes you just give them a hug or slip something under their, on their table. Stick some money under there. Maybe it'll help with expenses. Send flowers. Last 3 years, our family has been dealing with mental health issues, and I found myself pulling away because it's just too heavy to put on others. Or how do you know if it's too heavy? And who would you put it on? It wouldn't cost me to answer a question. I'm online. If I don't know, I can just say I don't know. And if I have some suggestions, I can suggest them. PG tips, Aid. All right, you're going to have to explain PG. I'm not sure what you're getting at there, brother. My favorite color is cerulean. That's my share of the, what? That's my share of the day. Laugh out loud. Cerulean. Is that a green? If you don't make time for your wellness. What else did Sarah say? My fave is Death Wish coffee. Can't drink it often. I don't know if I'd want to, even if I could, with a name like that. I like Disaster Coffee's names of their things, like Bunker Buster and Emergency and stuff like that. You will be forced to make time for your illness, said Sarah. Oh, to Smiling Mary. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to try to deal with it on your own if you can get help. Blue? Cerulean is a blue? Yeah. Blue. Yeah. Let's see. I'm not wearing my favorite. My favorite color is navy blue. If you guys haven't figured that out after watching my channel, here. That is my favorite color. There's the vest I'm wearing today. Navy blue. Gorgeous blue. Greetings and salutations. There's Sergeant James. I called you out at the beginning of this live stream. Said haven't seen you in a while. That's my favorite tea brand. The company is the largest plantation in India. PG. Okay. I don't know if we get that here. I like the new up and coming one called Vadim. They had a really good chai tea. And her favorite color is purple. Coffee, always have green coffee beans on hand, roast them, then grind at the time of brewing. Yep, Sister Vicky is a do-it-herselfer kind of gal. And that's probably delicious coffee, made fresh like that. I may have seen PG. I mean, we don't get a lot of variety here. Twinings and I can't remember the other name. Reach out to somebody. Something as simple as venting to someone can make you feel the tiniest bit better, and anything is better than stuck where you are at. And praying. Let's face it. Sometimes you can, well, not sometimes. Praying is there for you to do exactly that if you don't feel comfortable in doing it to another person. And sometimes by praying, it'll be solved or you'll feel better and you can share with another person something else. I really don't like coffee. My husband absolutely loves it. I love tea. I liked the espresso in Italy, and it didn't seem to upset my stomach. But it might have been something with the processing or the horrible chemicals Americans are, our coffee and our food is allowed to have in it, versus in Europe, a lot of stuff is much more pure. That does sound awesome, roasting your own coffee. Yeah. Greek Homestead, how is your arm feeling? Are you feeling like it's healing, and are you getting the itchies under your cast? I'll give it a minute. I'll itch my nose and I'll flip my hair and I'll look around at all the beautiful stuff around me. The color green, by the way, is the one most preferred by geniuses. Just saying. All right, are we stuck? I'm glad I've got service, because if I go further down on my property, everything gets pixelated and you all can't see. I'd like to try roasting my own dandelion roots for tea coffee. Well, do it, Miss Lady. Get out there with your little homie or whatever little tool you have and dig you up a root and wash it off and roast it in the oven and then grind it up. It's a bitter, dark flavor. I'm pretty sure. You can also eat the flowers of dandelion if you pick them, and they can be that, looks like a lion's mane, yellow fluff. Not the fluff, but when it's still a flower. You can pick them, bread them, and fry them, and they're actually really tasty. And the leaves are great in coffee. 11 days left. I feel like it's healing, and yes, I want to scratch it. Thanks for asking. 11 days. That's awesome. Just remember, it's not going to immediately feel awesome. You're going to take a little time and be careful with it because it's going to be tender, but I'm happy that it's healing okay. Greens up much faster. here in Oklahoma than it did in Pennsylvania. I'm loving that. Probably because it's warmer, Mad Kelp. And it is awesome. We went from bare bones nothing to, semi jungle. Sister Kate, we just got Starlink. What a difference. There's no doubt that Starlink was going to up the internet game. I don't know if we're willing to pay for it. PJ and I were just really stingy. I prefer to think of it as a, what am I, not humble. Come on now, it's money. Frugal. We're frugal. And we don't change things quickly, but can also make dandelion wine. That's exactly right. You sure can. Saw survival application weapon system. Good morning. Blessings to you and Pastor Fox. Blessings to you, brother. So that's a survival applications weapon systems. Listen, brother, you are an interesting person with a lot of interesting stories, and I can't wait until we can see face to face again and swap, our tales. My current favorite tea is the Yogi Sweet Clementine Stress Report. Wow. Oh, I'm getting a text. Where am I at? Starlink is great, says Mrs. Lovely Dudley. Her husband is always on the, what do you call it? Cutting edge of technology. Dudley is a very knowledgeable man. Okay, so give me 2 seconds while I answer this text from PJ. See if I can get this thing to work, and I will be right back. Come here. I teleported to another time. Today's my first day back in the garden. I had bittersweet. Don't worry about it, lady. Just carry on. It will change what we think and what is possible. How long should I wait before I use chicken manure for compost? I know it shouldn't be used right away because of the nitrogen content. That is correct. It's about a year. And that's not very encouraging. I know. You probably want to use it now. If you can find someone who has rabbits, rabbit manure can go right on whatever you need it to go on. The Greek. Hopefully you're fully healed in that time frame and the itch is tolerable. And the itch is tolerable. All right, y'all. Let's see. Is there anything else All right, y'all. Let's see. Is there anything else y'all want to share? Do you want to... let me just put it this way. I just wanted to touch base with my crew, with my subscribers, because you guys have been faithfully hanging in there, commenting and supporting the channel. For some of you have been doing it for 10 years. I went back through some of my videos and I put on some tags and I changed some titles, and I really need to and want to and hopefully will get around to going through my 1,300 videos, deleting ones that are just no good, bringing forth some, because I've got some that I think would be kind of fun for people. That is, I think it's 10 things, but it might be 30, 10 or 30 things you don't know about me. It was something that went around the web that year and somebody sent it to me. And so I posted that. I would think that some of you who haven't been here as long would find that interesting. You can search it out. On the video section of the channel, you can put in the search thing like 30 things about Sister Kate and see that video. But I think I need to kind of update and edit and go through. So hopefully I will have time doing that this year. Let's see. If you use hay, peat moss, and sand, mix in the coop. I think she's saying you can kind of create your own compost in the coop if you throw some hay, some peat moss, and some sand in there. Can goat, sheep manure go on right away? I've never tried because goat manure looks like rabbit pellets, and I don't have any way to gather it up. It's not like they all go in one spot. So I'm not sure about that. The only one I'm absolutely sure about is the rabbit manure. Things like duck manure, I think if you put it in in water and make it weaker, that you could probably use that, like you do with the fertilizer. It's all concentrated, so make a tea. Yes, make a fertilizer tea. Look that up. I don't have exact percentages for you, but you can make a fertilizer tea probably with your chicken manure in just a matter of a couple of weeks. It's not going to be concentrated. You're going to dilute it with water in a bucket. Yeah, I think that would be a better option for you. Blessings, Sister Kate. You can use chicken poop immediately, said Vicky. I've tried and it's burnt the heck out of my plants, but she gave you advice, peat moss, sand, and something in there with it. We want to have a safe and prosperous day and say hey to the pastor. Put it in a playlist. Well, there you go. Yes, that is right. And I've been trying more, like the syrup videos. I created another playlist, and I forgot that I've got 25 topics on my playlist anyway. So yeah, I think that would be a good idea for me to arrange and organize them. Good suggestion, Aid. You should pass that 30 things on to other people and have them share it, said Teresa. Well, maybe I will. Your book came in. Great job, said Smiling Mary. Thank you. Did you order yours from Deborine? She said the new ones with the photo should be printing like now, but I don't know how long it's going to take Amazon to actually get it listed that way. When I did the Across the Table with Bob on Sunday, his engineer, Andres, looked it up on his computer and it said sold out. But when I look on my app on my phone, it says unavailable. So if the printer's printing it, it should be available. It should be, I'm pretty sure it's available on demand. We had snow this past weekend, looking forward to summer and having my garden in. Yes, lady. My daughter, too, she sent me a photo. She had a daffodil come up and she was super excited. And peas. She's like, oh, my peas are breaking soil. So, I think the snow you got is going to be, is going to be rain for us. And I'm hoping that you get your garden in soon too, because I know your fingers are probably itching for it. Is it just me or is there no sound? It might be on my end. I'm assuming there's sound. No one else has said that. Yeah. Fixer said sound. You might need to turn your volume up. Sound is cutting out. I have no problem with the sound. Rabbit is the only thing. I've never heard of another one that you can use right away, said Teresa. There's Mosby Men's. Shalom. Ferments. Favorite book on fermenting? I do not. If you use it with hay, peat moss, and sand in the coop, the chicken poop can be used right away. You're basically making the compost in the coop if you do that. It's never too late to radio. Shalom. Great to know, Vicky. I can hear. A friend in Ohio told me about that. My berry bushes, thank you for supporting the channel. It's never too late to radio. My berry bushes were showing life, and then we have freezing temps. Ugh. I know, that's one of my fears. Rain all week for us. Gonna need a boat to get around, said Okie Storm Chaser. We could use the rain over here. One of my ponds is almost gone. Like, no water. Sound is good in your book on Amazon is currently unavailable. That's what I thought, Sergeant James. That's what I'm seeing. And so I had to ask my publisher again, like, if it's printing soon, then that should mean it should be available soon on Amazon. That's the way I understand it. And if not, I'm going to have to get her to ask them what's going on again. Pastor says this is all part of the process, so I'm trying not to get freaked out. She had a hard time with our address kind of thing of us living in the middle of nowhere. I have no doubt about that, but I'm glad she was able to get it to you. And please, y'all, this is not a holy scripture, this book. It's a nonfiction, and it's on paper, and you can make notes in it and underline stuff. If you want to put your little list of garden seeds or tools you want to buy and circle stuff and, do that. It's meant to be like a guidebook, like the pioneers had for going out to Oregon and California. It's an overview view, not at every little detail. Those little details are the things for you guys to decide. What tools do you want? What plants do you want to plant? What's going to grow good in your area? And there is a yearly calendar in there to kind of give you they call it a yearly round, an idea of a good time to do certain things, like pruning your trees is February time frame. Are you growing any sweet potatoes? Patty says, not yet. I'm going to wait till it gets a little bit warmer. I write all over my books, says Hippie Hebrew. Well, good. Are the books available again? She might have some available on her publishing company site. I had to reorder because I ran out of the 25 I got the first time. And so if I have any for me to sell, I will advertise that on the channel. But right now, no, I'm kind of hoping Amazon takes over for me. My wife has been on me to get her one. Yeah, try Deborine Publishing, because she may have some. All right, y'all, I'm gonna head out. I've got to go do my chores and stuff. Pastor wants to take care of the sheep and the goats and check the fence we put up there. But this was just a good morning to you all. I wanted to check in with everybody. It was good to see everybody. Patty and John, JC Fixer, and Teresa, and Smiling Mary, and Sergeant James, and Oki's Boss, and Okie Storm Chaser, Tinfoil Hat, Never Too Late. You had to have had another name. You've changed your name. It's not, are you, Steve, the Old Man, and and Vicky, and Mosby Men. It's good to see all y'all. Good morning, and have a wonderful day today. Northwest Arkansas Prepper 2. Bless y'all. Shalom.